Things I wish all toddler parents knew as a pediatric occupational therapist. First thing, you don't have to be working on writing letters prior to kindergarten. Kids are going to naturally learn how to do these things through coloring, drawing, playing outside, doing other fine motor activities. It's not something you need to individually focus on. With that being said, you also don't have to work on learning the alphabet and all the letters of the alphabet specifically either. Next, potty training does not have to be a stressful experience, but it's also probably not going to be done in just 3 days. Toddlers benefit from doing weeks of potty learning prior to ever even doing true potty training. This includes things like reading books, teaching your child about the bodily functions and sensations, playing in the bathroom, experiencing all of the different things related to the toilet and pottying before ever jumping into training. Also, there is no prize for potty training your child the earliest out of everybody you know. Actually, there is some research that shows starting potty training before your child is ready for it can lead to further issues down the road. The ideal age for potty training is somewhere between 2 and 3 years old. Okay, next. I actually really like the use of pacifiers in early infancy because there's some research that shows it reduces the risk of sudden infant death syndrome. However, I do recommend that you try to wean from the pacifier around the 6-month age. I know this can seem early, but it is going to be beneficial later on for speech and language and oral motor development. If you think about it, it's super hard to pronounce words when you have something in your mouth. So when children are trying to imitate you as a parent, if they have a pacifier in their mouth, they're going to have a hard time learning and using new words. There's also some research to support that pacifier use in older infants and toddlers can lead to more ear infections, which I thought was shocking. This might not be directly an occupational therapy thing, but delayed communication can have impacts on their social and emotional development as well. All right, next thing. Toe walking as the main means of getting around, like more than 90% of the day, is not normal and can actually be indicative of something more going on, like tightness or sensory processing difficulties. Consulting with a PT or an OT is not a scary thing and can be really helpful in finding solutions to help overcome this. Okay, this next one I can't stress enough. Toddlers are not just small adults. Toddlers learn mostly through sensory and social experiences because the parts of the brain that are responsible for critical thinking and problem solving are not fully developed yet. Those parts of the brain actually aren't fully developed until children are closer to the age of 25, so like a full-grown adult. Their bodies are different in so many ways, including their digestive system, their skin, their breathing patterns, their bones, and so many more. Next, if your child doesn't like a lot of vegetables, that is okay. The biggest thing here is just exposing them frequently and often to different things. The more a child sees their parents, their friends, their siblings, their peers eating different foods, the more likely they are to try them. The nutrients that are found in a lot of vegetables can also be found in things like fruits, nuts, meats, grains, legumes, all the different things. And if your child needs to get their vitamin intake through smoothies or their vegetables in smoothie form, that's totally okay too. This one I feel super strongly about because I specialize in bowel and bladder dysfunction and potty training, but if your child is not having a bowel movement at least every other day, or they're consistently straining to pass it, they are constipated. If this is a regular thing in your household, this is not normal and should definitely be taken seriously by your pediatrician. Ask for a referral to a GI specialist or ask to be put on a regimen of different food or Miralax or whatever may need to be done to help your child get through this, but it is not normal to be chronically constipated. And this can impact potty training and bedwetting and a ton of different things down the line. So let's get this taken care of early and often. Okay, last thing for this video. Learning the ABCs actually isn't that big of a deal, especially at the ages of 2 or 3. It's similar to memorizing anything, shapes, cars, colors. It's just plain memorization, and it's honestly not a milestone that I ever look for as a pediatric occupational therapist. Those early childhood years are meant to be learning life skills, cause and effect, problem solving, social skills. It is okay if your child does not know their ABCs by the age of 3. Every child is going to develop at a different rate, and the window for learning ABCs is typically between the ages of 2 and 6 years old. Don't rush your child, they will get there. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them below or send me a message. Stay tuned for a part 2 in the future.